So I've been attempting to get screenshots of my node network to show a couple people who were asking about it. Honestly, I figured the easiest way to deal with it was to just make a quick video just showing what I've got, the layout. Um, this is not currently the most efficient optimized method, but rather than 14 individual screenshots, I figured I would just do this and hope this helps. I've got pay to win lodging for Old Wisdom Tree and Grana, so I have 4 workers each. I'm merely in leveling up workers, rolling for specific advanced packing just to try the workshops here. It's the only reason why I have anything in Polly's Forest. But I have from Old Wisdom Tree all the way through, I guess I can zoom in a little bit, to Longleaf. Doing that for the cedar timber for Calpheon timber crates. I didn't have a use for those. I didn't feel a reason to connect, and I felt that coming up through here, because I already had to come up to Bear River Head for tin ore. Those are going to be for the bronze crates. I'm at Hex Sanctuary just for some grinding. Was trying to test something on additional relic shards, but those aren't required or needed in any way. Funnel's Cabin for fur timber, Calpheon timber crates. We've got more tin ore for our bronze. Mancham for fur timber. Over to Trent Forest. I forgot it zoomed in. Fir timber, there again, Calpheon timber crates. Cedar timber, Calpheon timber crates. And of course, I've got Trent workers with pay to win lodging. So they're the ones that are getting these nodes here, just because they're the closest ones. We work back our way up to Calpheon. Through Calpheon, we're up to Quint Hill for birch timber, Calpheon timber crates. I've got Northern Wheat Plantation just for the wheat. I figured I had to go through it anyways. This isn't necessary by any means, the excavation, but I wanted it for the traces, battle and forest. If this node isn't available to you, or the harvesting node, it's available through, I believe it's a quest and 35 energy. You just need knowledge. Up to Bree Tree Ruins. More birch timber, that's for our Calpheon timber crates. From there we shoot over to Old Dandelion. Birch timber for our Calpheon timber crates. Karudo Cave. More tin ore for our bronze. For Keplen, of course everybody wants Keplen Quarry for the coal and Powder Crevice, both very useful. I chose or opted to come up through here and use and harvest from O's Pass for cedar with a Keplen worker. There again, I've got pay to win lodging, so I have additional lodging that may not be available to some of you without spending additional CP. From there, we just go through Delphine Knight's Castle to the bandits. Here's where I split and I V off. The northern half goes to Velia and to Olvia, but Forest of Seclusion for maple timber. Use that for our Serendia timber crates, or Belenos timber crates, whichever you choose to make. Copper, because I was already invested in the node. Ancient Stone Chamber, Earth and Ascension traces. Tuscany Farms, I make a lot of beer. I go through about 1,200 a day, so I always in need of additional beer making materials. I may have too many, but I'd rather have too many than not enough. Potato, and we're doing this one primarily just for the eggs. The chicken meat is virtually useless. You can use it to kind of power level through cooking if you wanted to. I believe it's steamed bird. The other thing you can do with it, it's just a quick, easy EXP food. It uses a vegetable, and it's easy to look up, but it's just a good way of burning it and make extra contribution points if you didn't want to just spam beer all day long. Forest of Plunder, arrow mushrooms. I don't do a whole lot with alchemy, but it was suggested that I start grabbing those and have an abundance of them. Finto Farms, just for more eggs, just because that's going to be a bottleneck. Coastal Caves, iron ore and copper. Coastal Cliff for iron. I shoot across, and the only reason why I leave this connected is because I have additional workers in Olvia, and I have them come out to, I believe they're all goblins, and I think they're in some of these slower nodes, just because I didn't want to be bothered with spending time away from more important things that I'd rather level. The only thing I have actually in Olvia territory is Costa Farms, just because I wanted a lot of grapes for Essence of Liqueur. And I have nothing else connecting over here out into the water, though. I do have one Velia worker that's coming out here, and that's just for my dried fish, just for making good feed. There are other dried fish nodes. Mind you, these are extremely slow. You do want a goblin with very fast work speed. If you don't have at least an artisan, I wouldn't even recommend it. It's I believe with a professional goblin, it was still like 3 hours. It's only about 2 hours with mine. Back down to Heidel. Northern Plains of Serendia. There again, it's for the maple timber. I'm power leveling some artisans, so this isn't necessary. I don't really recommend having an abundance of it. I think I've got about 50,000, and honestly, it's probably more than I'll use in the next 6 months, but it's a quick, easy node to hit on the way to Heidel. There again, as I stated, just for leveling, but right here, one of the most sought after and expensive things in the game, the Trace of Savagery. I know you can farm it, but honestly, with as close as this is to Keplen or to Heidel, having a Heidel worker on this is definitely justified and worthwhile. Cooking honey, there again, very useful. Even if you're just selling it right back to the market. Power leveling workers, you can still also grab pumpkins. It works as a vegetable for most any cooking recipe. Wheat, flax, there again, just to power level through processing for all my alts. And then there's one pumpkin I'm running. As I stated, the pumpkin and the silver azalea are just for leveling my workers. Another wheat for beer, flax just for power level processing, just to raise my life family fund. That's the third maple timber in the game. For my Serendia crates, I prefer to gather my pine, but I'm also supplementing that with having my worker grab some additional. I had a whole bunch of workers with the 3 extra pay to win lodging slots. Wasn't sure exactly what to do with them. I was grabbing the lead ore, which actually apparently I still am. Not really used for anything anymore. It was used for nodes, building node forts for node wars, but that's long gone. Another iron ore. From there, I pass through Soldier's Grave. I do make costumes for the silver embroidered. The cotton is needed for that, along with some of the flax. If you're planning on trying to power level and smash a whole bunch of silver embroidereds together, I would recommend you can buy it off the market. But if you're making silver embroidereds, you're probably trying to save some money because you plan on smashing a metric crap ton of them. From there, I connect up to Omar Lava Cave. Currently, both of these workers are from Heidel, so we're doing this one for the coal for making steel ingots. Zinc ore, I'm probably going to stop doing this pretty soon. I believe I've got a fast enough worker on the tin nodes that I can just make bronze, and I don't need to make brass as well. I connect down through to Altanova, abandoned iron mines, just for the extra zinc. As I stated, these are extremely slow nodes. I mean, 35 minutes left. I want to say it's almost 2 hour workload. It's just I don't know that it's really worth the CP. And from there I stop. Anything further as far as connecting to Valencia, it's quicker and easier once you've already gotten to Velia to connect up through the water. From Ilia Island, it's only 15 CP, and you'd connect up to here, down to here, shoot to here, over here, to Encado, down to the observatory, and then into Valencia City if you're going to do your trade. As I stated, I don't trade fish currently. I process at night, so I have no reason to leave all of that extra 15 CP connected. The only thing I have in Shakatu is I have one worker at Kamach Canyon getting vanadium ore. It's not the most efficient way of getting it, but there really isn't a quick, easy way to do it. It's either there or in Kato. Both of them are just as awkward. I have pay-to-win lodging in Valencia City, so I have additional workers. I have one going to the palm forest for the coconut and palm timber. I as a filler timber crate, I use palm planks for palm crates or plank crates. It's just a filler. It's just there so my workers are doing something rather than just sitting idle while I'm processing additional. If for some reason I haven't been able to produce enough timber for timber crates, then from there though I connect up, and I've got the vanadium ore, titanium, and vanadium. I know down at Crescent Shrine there is an additional titanium node. I just don't see the value in investing. I believe it's 6 CP to get all the way down there just for one node. And then in Arahaza, my single worker is grabbing the coconuts and palm from the additional or second palm forest node. So by far, I highly recommend these. Even if you aren't saving up the coconuts for making the Ephyria frigate parts, or the Ephyria frigate for the pine coated plywood, I would still recommend doing it if you have any. All this stuff sells. The coconuts are used for cooking. I mean, just selling them as is. The palm timber probably won't sell by itself, but if you converted it or processed it again into plywood, it definitely would. People either feed it into their alchemy stones of protection, or they use it for making the blue gear for the Epherias. And I believe that is all I have currently. I have one node just connected for a couple grind spots for Desert Nagas, nothing too crazy, and that is it.